Oh, all right. All right. At least I can say I'm set up. Okay, I don't want to jinx it. I'm not going to say it. No. I'm somewhat set up before stream and things look to be okay. We'll see in the next few minutes if it'll stay stable, right?
Yeah.
And of course, you said on your side it might just go. Nah, I'm just gonna take a big dump on and just let you be.
Yeah, it just did.
Oh really?
Yep, all of my programs just closed on me.
Well, at least it wasn't one or two, because you know it's a clean slate. That's good. You can start again.
Shut up, Nathan.
Trying to give a positive twist to it, okay?
I know.
I'm just
I'm
trying.
not irritated by it anymore. I'm just tired.
Oh yeah, I'm just so tired of you,
It
Nate.
makes me tired.
I'm so
If I
tired
flip
of
out,
you
then
and your
it's just
optimistic, positive attitude.
I don't mean to leave it by yourself, but I'm not going to consistently keep trying to make this work when it will not work.
No. Well, if anything, you can
And right
just...
now, I'll be honest, I don't want to invest any money in buying a new computer right now because people are scalping things left and right.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just going to put my money, especially my birthday money, towards stuff I want, like the shampoo that I wanted to help maintain this haircut of mine and some manga because I want manga.
You want manga hair?
Do I want manga hair?
I thought that's what you said.
Too much gel.
Much gel.
It probably cut me off. The bastard, it cut me off.
Well, if you did that, then you'd be jelly all the
got
time. Ha yeah! Ha ha! Hoo hoo! Hee hee hee! Ha! Yeah!
Ho ho! Shut up!
First one of the night, people.
Why? Yeah, everything's just way too expensive right now to try to get. Unless you're trying to get used, but then it's still expensive, and I'm not gonna do that.
It's been lightly used. That's practically full price. I took off $10. Come on. That looks like
fair, right?
That looks like you've used it in the wrong places. Well, it took me a minute to figure out how it works. And I go, that's just not how. No, no. Read instructions. Oh, I'm too good for instructions. What?
Oh my god.
I bet you're one of those people that just accept the terms of a. I can't say anything about that because I was like, I don't want to read this crap except.
Couldn't even get to the punchline.
Nope. I laugh at my own jokes. That's why I'm a terrible comedian. And supposedly I can't drink. I confused one my the one for breathing as the one for drinking. There we go. Oh, that's gonna bug me the rest of the stream. It's like you got water in your lungs, and we're just gonna keep hacking it up when you freaking want to talk. My eyes, they water. But I'm still among the living.
And so you can.
Not this time, there. They water.
I hate that when I just go into freaking movie quotes.
Why do you dislike that? Movie quotes are amazing. They're great.
This is why you don't have.
You know what else is great? You, Kayla. You're great.
Oh, stop.
What, did you just throw up in your mouth a little bit? My gosh.
Compliment.
Take a compliment, damn.
Compliments make me ill.
And what do we have here?
Can't do it.
And
Stop yawning. Why are you tired? God. The hell? Why are you so tired?
Huh. It tells you how often I go on Twitch. That I actually I go quickly on there and see if the video's running, and then that's about it. There's a friend request, and it's like, oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Same.
It was also from 14 days ago. That's why I bring it up as a point. It's
God.
like I didn't even know that was like, wait, if I hadn't even looked up to the right, I would have never seen that. But cool. It's almost counted all the way down. And I might not have any ragtime music. Because I think I picked a playlist that doesn't have it, but you know, it could just go, no, we think it's kind of boring. We need to up this beat and get some of them 20s in there. Like, what? What? So, I have a salt vampire. And that's what I'm going to be working on. Oh, boom. It went from 3 to just let's start. Okay. I watched it. I saw it. It's just leaping about. Alright, and then push this button. Hopefully, wait, I don't want to hit that button. That would have taken me offline. That would have been terrible. There we go. Wait, it didn't do it. Transition. Really? Remote. Well, fine then. That decided not to work for me. There it goes. Now it's unfrozen. And there we are. Aww. It does look like she had her computer go down. Ouch. Well, even running Krita doesn't seem to help you out, does it, Kayla? Ugh. Well, it looks like it's just me tonight. Of course, Kayla, if you hear me out there, you can always just join in the chat at least, if you want. It's just unfortunate that this just seems to be too much, you know, too much for your computer to handle. At the same time, actually, I didn't even bother to ask you. Have you lowered the video quality? If you're out there. Yeah, because I just stream 720. I'm not gonna push this out at 1080 because I'm not the only one that uses the internet, and I'd prefer more stability over the quality of that video if I can help it. But yeah, dang. Well, onward and upward. I am gonna ink my salt vampire today. You know, come on, join. We're I'm slowly but surely working on this piece through this on stream mostly. The background I have to work off of stream because there's a lot of extra. But you know, designing these characters and doing that live for everyone, it's kind of fun. It's, you know. But at the same time, I plan on offering this piece at a really cool Comic-Con, which is actually going to happen in August, where I will be. So everything you see here will be designed. I even plan on designing some pins to go along with it, so it'll be a nice little like 8x10 and like maybe even 11x14s. Offer up some poster sizes, and this won't be the only one. I also have the Frumpy Dumpy Lumpy Link, all those, and then a few other pieces that I plan on finishing with backgrounds and you know. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. In addition to animations and other things. Alright, so there's the live screen. There you are. That's a dark corner again. There, now it's a little bit brighter. Helps fill in the light over there. It's a green lightsaber too. Alright. So, like I thought, I wasn't gonna get ragtime music, but here it is. I swear, I did not put it on random. I'm just terrible at picking these lists, it seems. Oh. And this is Teknoaxe. Oh, it's okay, Kayla. I was thinking that it was a very strong possibility that it would cut out on you. But yeah, if you just want to join chat, that's also cool too. All right. But yes, as I was saying, Teknoaxe. This is royalty-free music for all those content creators out there. They're really, really awesome diversity of stuff. They don't sponsor me, so I say this out of the kindness of my heart because I really do like their stuff. And it's very versatile. Like recently, like just yesterday and the day before that, I put up a few inkings of anime characters, especially because like 2 days ago was Anime Day. So I did that, and it was a lot of fun to do the time lapse. And I took 3 of their songs and I put it to time lapse on 3 of those inkings. And I thought it was pretty cool. And I'm planning on. I think I'm gonna do the very same thing with these characters, except for I'm gonna re-ink them on my iPad and give a nice string of all 8 of these characters being inked. So I'm inking it here as well as re-inking it there to give them a nice little sequence. Plus, I like having the extra practice with the iPad and the feel. Still want to use my glove though. Because actually, one of the worst things is that they say, "Oh, you could turn on this feature and it won't react to any of your palm or anything," but it still does. It still does, because I'm getting like these spot effects of where the side of my palm is. There it is. That's the hiccup I was waiting for. So, alright. So where do we want to start? Now, there is one thing that's off, and then I'm going to try to fix it as I go along. Is that the left hand only has 2 suckers on each finger, roughly, or at least on that pinky. Whereas for the right hand has 1, 2, 3. That was a big oversight. But oh well. Not a biggie. Can be fixed. Alright, actually that's right. We do 5 on the interior and 10 for the exterior because we're giving all these characters a little burst of extra inkiness on the exterior, the outside edge. So this is based off of the Assault Vampire from episode 2 in Star Trek, which I keep saying is the original imposter. I mean, come on. It was able to transform. It was very primitive in some of it. It's the aspect that it was the last of its kind, which is also a very big tragedy of this character. But it fell in love, and I fell in love with like Dr. McCoy, and it was very interesting because I was thinking maybe I redo this, and I might still redo this and have it kind of get lovey, like doing a lovey-dovey to Dr. McCoy. And then I kept thinking, well, I could always do another piece where Dr. McCoy and our salt vampire here have an intimate moment. I've noticed too, working on the iPad has reminded me how important it is to keep your elbow up. Because so often have I bumped it into things like, I'm being lazy, gotta stop that. Whereas on that iPad, like I have it flat down on the table for a reason, which kind of makes me think maybe I should lower this one a bit too. Get that same effect so my arm and elbow are up. It's always helpful. Because you want a clear movement. Get nice clean lines with nice long strokes. Ideally you want to make it in one go instead of several. Don't do this. That's bad. What you want is some nice clean movement. And this one in particular. Oh. Do. See, we're even gonna go weird. I'm gonna go upside down. There. And back off, take a quick look. This is looking really nice. There's some nice eyes. But yeah, I always find the inking to be probably the most fun because you really just, now you're taking your sketch and you go, I'm really doing the first layer of detail. Which I always found inking to be the more, what is it, rewarding portion, because it's accentuating the silhouette of the character. What features do you really find important on that character? To portray them. So in this case, I'm looking at that and I'm going, well, I want a few extra lines here. I'm really trying to portray it like that this creature has wrinkles around the face, but I don't want to overly do it. But enough so we all know. I mean, this thing is not the most, attractive creature. It could do a lot of work with its hair, because I mean, it's really like a rat's nest up there. If maybe it did a nice, nice little cleaning of it, it could be quite attractive as a creature, Maybe Dr. McCoy wouldn't be so appalled as like, I need a woman that knows how to handle her hair. Maybe that's what it is. Nah. But it has its own character too. Nope. Let's do this. Let's go around. probably clean up that line a bit more. Can we get in one go? Not quite. So we will get in here. There we go. Now it's weird, like it almost has a fish-like mouth is what I was seeing on its design. And I was thinking, like, I really want to keep that look. Oh, my glove is actually kind of scuffing. Feels like it's dragging. I might have to buy a new glove. This one gets a lot of use. So like I was saying, this had a very fishy looking look. Looking. It was fishy looking. So ideally, I want to keep that fish mouth look as much as possible. So that's why the mouth was redesigned from what it was originally. Let me check it. Where it was just this little large sucker. Now it's got quite a bit more, because back in the day when I caught fish, they'd always had this nice little extra lip, like this portion here, that was like the top half of the jaw compared to the lower half of the jaw. And I thought that would be really cool to keep in there. So I did. I kind of took my own design aesthetic, because this thing's capable of absorbing the salt in a human. So I thought, let's give it that kind of like hinge so it actually can open up its mouth, because like still a fish can almost if you push it up against something and keep its mouth flat against the surface still with that kind of hinge. So hence the reason why I decided to keep with that design of it. Here. I mainly push away from my right side to my left, so I can see the line that I'm drawing. And yes, I am kind of working curve into these slightly to purposely see how it looks, see how the outcome is in the end. To make it almost like these teeth will hook. Which is what they should. I mean, it's got to latch on after all. It's the more danger to that jaw. Look at that. We got quite a bit going on already. This hair is still something that's crazy. I'm not 100% with its look, but you know, we'll figure it out. Well, giving quite a bit of emphasis to that chin. This violin is sounding very... So as you can hear, the diversity that Teknoaxe has. Okay. Am I feeling like I want to tackle the hair now? No. Alright. So then let's just move on to this right hand. And this is where we get kind of... These are features we practically won't see all that much of. But I'll do it for you guys. Because this creature got so much going on. Alright, and then we got the suction cup. We have another finger. And again, we will take some liberty on the positioning of these. There we go. Then we do want to smooth out the transition. Alright, so now the reason I'm using 0.5 on the interior is because the exterior is going to use a 10. Alright, so what kind of gnarly looking fingernail we going to do this time? I think we're going to do a nasty little break there. There we are. Sometimes these extra details, even though they might not go noticed, are just what gives this character even... Because this particular character is going to be really far in the background, unfortunately. Because it's kind of hidden. But you know, since you're joining me here, you get to see these extra features, these parts. They won't be that noticeable without knowing they exist. There we go. Again. And there we go. The final finger. Like I said, these are just for you people. Just so you can see that these details are there. This hand is going to be part. And yeah, I'll take some extra care with them. There we go. That looks nice and tidy. Not quite. Let's... Oh. Try again. There, nice and clean. I want more distinction between... Oh, I didn't realize I'd made a gap in that. There we go. This is just going to get filled in anyways because it's a shadowed portion. Let's bring it all on the screen here. And other way. Okay. And then the shoulder. Nope. That's good. That's good. So I need to make it look like it's just up a little bit higher, which actually let's take some more. There. Actually. Did I just tuck in? I think I just tucked in its tummy. There we are. Now this. Oh, almost! Almost got that all in one go. I saw that waiver. There we go. My goodness. Nope. This needs more. All right. I'm already making that a little bit thicker on the outside, but don't need that to be quite. There. All right, so this is the hand where I need to add another suction cup to the finger pinky. Let's turn it around so I can see where I'm going. And then we have, just trying to portray which direction. That looks like a nice solid circle. Perfect. There we go. Now it's time to get this wider outside. Enjoyed that. That looked good. I'm doing pretty good for the first time. Usually I'm like, no. Giving it some extra features with its fingers. It's got some wrinkliness, so I'm trying to put that in there. That's what we're doing. So I'm gonna go up to there. We're gonna boom. Which this allows us to do. There. All right. So I'm missing, I think, one on the lower portion and then repositioning that top one and the middle one up a little bit higher. That's what I really need to do. So there's that one. Now the second portion needs to be, let's start it here. Similar thing. And then we have one. It's going to be underneath. Don't like that. So let's okay. There. It gets kind of the distance of that finger. So now it feels nice. Then we need part of that nail. Yes. There we go. And then just... And then we do need this final... Maybe... There, we do want a little bit. Acknowledgement that that second knuckle's there. There we go. Now it's adjusted so it has 3 suction cups like it should. From the original design. There's that. Oof. There's some of that detail. We also got another nail. We're just going to take off a portion of. Good. Oh, that's actually... If anything, I need to swoop it in further. Yes? Yes, okay. Now that one's going to get a thick line because this... I also have to consider, like, I don't have to be perfect on those lines because they're going to get nice and thick with a 10 point. Alright, so some liberty to change this out. Let's pull the finger in. Nope, that's kind of losing its roundiness. Official term, roundiness. Nope, gotta tuck that in further. Oh, that's bending the wrong way. This has gotta come out. Actually, it looks like we gotta make a knuckle. Then follow through with it coming outward. And one more nail. There it is. These are nasty nails. Take off some of that. Just clean up a little bit. I'm going to be cleaning up anyways, so it's like, might as well just take the time now. Well, I see what I want. Okay, so we're going to back off. Turn that off. Look at that. That looks nice. I like it. It looks really good. The hand looks kind of aged. Only a little bit. Good. Good. All right. Moving on. Let's zoom in and see what we got so far. Not bad. It's coming along very well. And again, I'm liking what I'm doing with these nails because it just adds that extra level of... This creature is very feral. So again, these little features add in a little bit more to its own character. There we are. Those. Actually, I'm kind of thinking... you might actually see that front nail. My goodness, did I mess that up? Possibly. We'll come back to it. I'm gonna let it stew in the back of my head and bug me for later. It's gonna be screaming for my attention while I ignore it. Right? Alright. Still don't want to tackle that hair. And these legs are quite something. Now mostly I kind of half butt them because they're I know they're gonna be behind a lot of stuff. So it's mainly the hands that are gonna be seen, the upper torso, very little of the legs. But still, we want to give it attention. Not that much of a thin line, my goodness. Nah. But okay. I cut the whole thing. I think I have that leg in front of the other, because that was also the reason why there's that V. It's like I'm still confusing myself of which leg is closer. And yes, I'm thinning that leg out a bit more, even though it's gonna look really awkward. Well, first, that transition is just looking weird. The wonkiest shoes. It's like I was knowing that these feet won't be seen anyways. Because actually, even on the design of this character, it wasn't. The shoes aren't even like. They're there because I know what I wanted to put in shoes. And it was more of like, if I reposition it somewhere else, but I'm not going to. Quick feet. Okay. Aww. Come on, let's make them circles. There we go. I don't really need to do too much else to really make this creature seem to stick out. I feel like... Nah. Alright, this lower half of the face. There. Looks pretty good. Oops. It's looking all right. All right, hair. Every time I looked at this creature's face, it was like, how can I make it feel better? So it was trying to make it as messy as possible. Yes, I'm kind of making these secondary lines because there's a lot of straggly hair that just folds around itself. Oop, that's a little too far in. It feels like a lot of the hair was just being pulled back and just matted with something awful. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be quite satisfied with this, because to be honest, like this is the part, and it's like, it just didn't feel quite right. So I'm just going for it. Seeing what kind of icky hair style I can design with this. Nah, that line I didn't care for. Nope, I want more sweeping. Let's pull away and around. Nah. Alright, so let's get some at the top of the head. It's going. I don't think I'll be fully satisfied with this hair. You have to make it messy. And if you take a look at me, you know how I work with hair. How often I even do my own. I am no hairstylist, and making disgusting looking matted hair cartoonish is a bit difficult. Because everything's usually a little too smooth. But at the same time, it's like you make too many lines and then you just end up being, but I'm not animating this character. Because if I was animating this, oh, this would be so less of a mess. Well, and we have that lower half, which I'm pretty much thinking is, that's really where I'm like, I don't know how far it goes down, but it is this main mess. something to look at. Okay. No, I don't like it. And I'm like trying to make the ends of this hair oof. Same time, like this is also getting that treatment of the thicker line at the end. It looks just so trashy. And yes, the point is, I want it to look trashy, but that looks just not... It doesn't look like a good trashy. That's really what I was trying to get at is... Alright, let's turn that off and... Oof. It doesn't look so bad inked. If anything, it actually looks better than the sketch. I think that's because I just gave it a little bit more here and there. See how much more I can... Come on. Just, it's really, really messy, so let's make it have all these little extra strands going everywhere. There, that's kind of helping it. How do you make a split end look like a split end? It's quite the busy set of hair. But there you go. Because again, it's just a ratty mess. That actually helps quite a bit when I see it like this in the inked form. I don't give too much, but it really helps speak to the volume directions that this thing is just taking so many weird avenues for itself. And then its nails are gnarly. Its hands are quite... Actually, let's make sure. Also, yeah, and I do not know what kind of music is being played in this background. My goodness. I'm gonna do that, then also lead into that. There, that makes sense now. I'm adding a little bit more to these fingers to really make them seem like the thing is deteriorating. Give it a little bit more detail like that. Ew. Yeah, so these are just little finer details to add some aging to this whole process. Open I There, that finger's got some. Oop. That looks a little too weird. Oh, wait. It looks too weird. Yeah, it looks weird. These are all the extra details it doesn't necessarily need, but I feel it's necessary for all you people to see. So it won't necessarily be seeable from its other position. It's just to give it look, it's desperate. All that extra detail. Not a necessity, but it works. It adds a lot to it. All right, well, definitely inked that in an hour. That was nice. But, you know, we'll let that one stew for a bit and go, nope. Go back and forth as we design this. So there's the original. There's the secondary being the red. And then, of course, oops, the new and improved with all the inked details. Hair looks a little bit better than it did in the sketch. Legs are still wonky. Like I said, it's going to be behind, so I'm not too concerned. And then, of course, this doesn't have actual eyes. It has like these flaps, and it has eyes when it transforms. So I like how nasty the fingers look. And the thumb on that right hand is actually behind the door jam, because it's like doing a grab. So that's why the thumb's not there. Because it's holding on to a door. It's coming off the elevator. Oh goodness, I didn't even have it. Alright, so like I said, I have that strong, thick outline that I need to do. Let's do that. And we're gonna copy it because that's what I do. I don't like to fully commit to that change until it's like I'll redo it from scratch, or there's some changes that I need to do prior to doing that I didn't see until I was starting to. So in this case, so with the 10, just gonna go around and just start anywhere. Yep, so this whole outside line is going to get this extra treatment of a nice thick line. And I'm going to use it to help me fix some features on that outside line. Oops, actually, I got my arm in a wrong position. Let us... There. Oh, this song's quite the epic one. Now I will have to go through, clean up the interior lines a bit, because there are some that are necessary to help its interior look right. But this thick outline is like a nice silhouette that accentuates certain features that remind us of what this character is. Gosh, I almost used my gesture, my finger, to just try to move the canvas here. Yep, even them little details, making them divots. We're going in close. Yep, I'm digging into that knuckle just a little bit to kind of push it back, because I'm taking liberties to correct some... Oof. There we are. Yep, I'm going to take a little bit of cleanup with this, like I mentioned. This is just fixing some of the outside lines, really. And just holding consistent pressure to make sure it's close to the full 10. Wait, for my own sake, so I can actually see where I'm going, since I'm going back and forth, back and forth. One of the features is to push. Okay, not coming up. This I'm just filling in, because that technically would be an outside line, but it's thicker than our normal. This will give nice emphasis to a lot of the features on this creature. Oop. Moved a little too far out. Okay. Nope. No, we can leave that one alone. So, oh. Yes, still on the outside, because I've done that already with a few of these. It's like, oh, I'm drawing on inside. Now, when you're making enamel pens, this is not a bad thing to do either. Because a nice thick outline will give the pen a good buffer. Oh, now we're doing some of the hair here. But yeah, as for pins, enamel pins and such, it's definitely, it can be a nice feature to add to it. To emphasize the silhouette, because I talk about that often, but it is kind of crucial in a lot of cases. If you want to make recognizable characters, things that people know, make sure the silhouette matches what we all know about that character. Like if the character is known to carry something, hopefully you have that character holding that object. And of course I need to make sure I breathe properly. Remind myself of all these little things so I'm not see, like right there, kind of slightly holding the breath, and I should just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. I like that. So here I'm trying to fix a little bit. There we go. Just taking a little bit. Oh. There we go. Yeah, I'm moving kind of quick with these feet because, like I've mentioned so many times already, these are not really going to be seen, but I'm still going to finish the whole thick outline. Now, of course, my next big step is fixing the background so it fits, especially Uhura's character design, because I have her now seated and turning towards the crew instead of standing like I had before. And that was mainly because I took the idea of like, oh, it's going to be extra work to make the chair, and blah, blah. It's like, but I didn't feel like her standing was appropriate to her character, so I had to change something. It's like, I guess she's now seated next to her instruments and interpreting the sounds of something, either planet side or on the ship. Like maybe she actually is noticing a recording of somebody that was hurt by the salt vampire and has identified it, and now that's why she's turning. It's like the point is I wanted a little bit more storytelling in her character than I had before, and that double chin design was just not going to do it for me. I couldn't handle that, so I had to change that, and I did. There we go with that one. Now this is already pretty much close to the thickness, so we're just finishing it off. Nice little outside lines. Get this treatment out. Interior lines will stay relatively the same size as what I started, which was 5. Within that little range, though. And makes quite the emphasis on that design of the nails. And then now even this suction cup on these particular portions of the finger. Now one thing that this thick outline is doing also is it takes away from doing thicker lines to show position in the particular scheme of things. So there is a downside to what I'm doing, because it doesn't lend itself to tell you the position in the world based upon line thicknesses. But each piece wants to be done its own way. And this piece kind of told me it felt like it wanted a thick line. So it's getting a thick line. Turn it around. Actually, that last line looks like I need to redo it. Okay, that looks better. These nails look really, really cool to me. It really kind of adds that extra to the feralness of this creature. Now, its instinct is pretty much survival, and in what it seems like it was implied procreation to keep itself going. But of course, having none of its species, it pretty much went after whatever it felt attracted to, which, you know, Dr. McCoy, smart guy he is, you know, and Irish. Or is it Scottish? You know what? I'm going to say he's Irish because we got Scotty, who's clearly Scottish, with the accent and everything. So I'm pretty sure Dr. McCoy was the Irish character of the bunch. Some of this music is just bizarre. Yep, I'm doing this in sections. There. Oh goodness, right there at that end. Well, too bad Kayla's here not to yell at me and tell me I'm not keeping up my elbow. Or it's just always gonna be, it's always me anyways, it says it. Like, keep your elbow steady. It's one of those little things you just constantly say to yourself in your head. Keep that elbow up. Keep moving. Steady and flowing, like the water. Ooh, ooh, why is that? Alright, now it almost looks like it's a stamp when you do it like this too. Which is cool. But now, that highlights that whole creature. A nice thick outline. Gosh, my gosh, there is so much detail. It almost, it takes away some of the aspect because it does flatten the creature in the world. It looks like it's a sticker. And I thought it, at the same time, like, I'm starting to think, like, maybe that is what I'm going for. Like, hey, here's this whole little picture, and you just put stickers all over it. These are sticker characters. Maybe I should make them into stickers and give those away, huh? But my gosh. So yeah, there it is. The salt vampire, my imposter, the imposter that's among us in this particular character. Like I said, I did the fish lips, then make it look more of like it's got a hinged lip system. So it looked really cool. It has no eyes, which is in some way, you know, frightening in its own way. Because my goodness. Just gonna look in. So yeah, here's the difference between there's the thicker line, there's the non-thick line. This character looks and then suddenly pops. But that's how all of these characters are. I need to pull her over here. But yeah, there we go. See? We got Dr. McCoy and the Salt Vampire. The Salt Vampire has a heck of a lot more detail, I know. Because I purposely did that. But it's also the character that's featured the furthest in the back, so... Do I still... Yeah, see? This is how the whole setup of each character, where they are positioned in the world from the initial sketches I did. With that background, which has to be changed because I got a hero that's going to be sitting down, and I need to pull out the chair for Chekhov as well as for Sulu. And I think everyone else is positioned all right, except for I did redraw Captain Kirk, which is actually... Oh, because he's not turned on. So I redrew him with his hand upward because his hand was otherwise like just hiding behind Chekhov's head. So then I said, I don't want this point. Not only that, but this pointing didn't seem like it. He's just smirking, and we're smirking away while we got... Oh my goodness, did I really turn off the inside? Got Scotty, you know, just I don't understand. What are you? What are we doing? My gosh, I did turn off the inside of each one. So we got Sulu, got Chekhov. I do have Uhura, which is there. That's her redraw, so it works beautifully with the design of her character. Which actually, I realized I redrew part of her left hand. Actually drew it in. My goodness. But I didn't do it here. Oh, sorry for the bouncing leg. So my characters are all done. They're all inked. Got Chekhov. Yeah, we got Doc. And I need to pull should be the copy layer. Paste layer inside there. And there she is. Now she's part of this group. Now I'm going to save, and I'm actually going to save an iteration because I had actually come through and cleaned out quite a bit of the other sketches because I didn't need all that bloat in this file anymore, but I did want to keep it. Always make iterations. Never know when you might go back. Plus, at the same time, I might use those sketches for other drawings to influence, like, well, how am I going to do this, you know, design for a different scene if I did. So it's there. I can pull that sketch in to kind of be my guide instead of like these thick lines. And even like sit there and rip it apart with the little cutting tools. And it's like, I'm going to dismember the body. That even sounds worse than now that I'm saying it. Oh. Dismemberment. Alright. So now, I think we're going to reposition them so they're in the world where they belong. Actually, you know what? Because of how much I've had to drink with my fluids, I'm going to be right back briefly. Just a bathroom break. Alright, I am back. Oh goodness, though. After all these Arizonas, well, I've only had one Arizona. Let's transition back. There we go. So I got check off and Uhura on the screen here. Now that I've emptied my bladder, let's refill it! It's okay. I think I'm actually gonna fill them in with a white background so they can stick out so we can see them in this world. I'm just gonna do quick. Actually, what's the fastest way? Unfortunately, a lot of times... Oh, it helps if I'm actually on the layer. Unless it's just going to be a jerk. And then I'm just going to fill it in with a solid white. There's the pen tool. This way, each of these characters will stand out amongst the colorful background. And yes, I'm using this Tragically wand tool. I did it, and I didn't mean to. There's a whole reason why we made another layer. So I didn't destroy what I had made. Let's do it again. Now we got the other layer. I still need the other layer to select. Don't mind me. I think I'm just you know, getting a little off. There's that. There's that. Okay. Looks like I scanned everything. And that's right, this picture doesn't have... Part of the re-inking that I did is I actually gave her the badge, but I'm not going to worry about it because I can always draw it in later. Point is, I want to see these characters. Did it again. Fill it in. Now this should also help me get like a nice selection after the fact when I need this outside line. So when I do go in to color it, this will just be already there. And then just tweak. And then line over it. Boom. Alright. So her need to do dock. No, not what I was expecting. Select that layer. There we go. Fingernail finger. Add. Then we got shoe. Shoe fly, don't bother me. I don't know why I'm singing that. That's from ages ago. New layer, and then we want to make it below it. Deselect, turn the layer on, boom. On to check off. Yeah, I tried to really be as close to their characters, their original designs, and then also give them this cartoony look that I do. It almost looks like... No, it doesn't. Almost looks like the animated version of it. Nah, not really. If I'm not mistaken, are those... Yep, those eyebrows are filled in. Okay. Deselect. Deselect. There it goes. On to Sulu. Oh, Sulu. Well, we'll have to select the legs. We'll work with it. We will work with it. Because luckily we can get most of the features. Nope, that was not the... There we go. Details, 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 details. Shirt. And now we have to go into the... We're going to select this. Trying to make sure I got enough into the line. So, and actually, if you ever ink or color for a comic book, one of the things you want to do is make sure that that coloring is deep underneath that line. Because certain printing processes that I've learned actually do the color and then ink, and they do it 2 separate passes. Because you're just using heavy blacks usually for the one layer. So then you change it up and just do colors. Then you do the ink layer separately when it gets printed. So it depends. So for a colorist, it's something to keep in mind. Okay. Just those little tips. Turn that off. Back off. And fill it in. Oh goodness. Well, you're gonna... It's not a big deal, because we just do that. Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk has the same thing. Certain features are open because of where he was positioned, and therefore I didn't complete the whole leg like I did with the Salt Vampire. Oh well. That's why I get to pay for it now. Because it doesn't assist me when doing the coloring. That's awkward. It's forcing me to hit shift before, and now it's going, no, you don't have to. I feel like it's doing the opposite of what I want it to do. I'll find out in a moment. Oh, so we should be able to select that and that. And that's about it. Alright. In the fact that it's doing negative is concerning. But luckily, you could just hit Control Alt I. Or is it probably Control Shift? And I can do the inverse select. trying to get this line on the middle of the ink, which is another good thing about this thicker outside, is that it's clearly helpful in identifying that. Just like that. Watching a little bit more. All right, now let's see. Yeah, see, that's the opposite of what I wanted. I thought as much. So now it should flip it. Flip it and reverse it. So this way they stand out, and we'll see them in the world how they're currently at, and it's not a bad thing to already have this. It's a nice selection silhouette for when we go in and color them. Scotty, you're on the opposite side. Yes, I'm hitting shift this time because I was like, I don't want to deal with that. So when I was selecting beforehand, it was negative, which I need to figure out why I have Krita doing minuses over positive when I first start selection. It seems like it's a bit broken, or that's just how they do things. It's like, then I should be able to change it. It's a feature somewhere, I just have yet to find. There. Oh, can't forget that little side. Well, as soon as we start filling in with the what is it? I'll say is just the matte white. Crud. You know, there's a bad thing when you do that, because Krita has this tendency to also use whatever layer you have on top as kind of a means of masking, which is good and bad. Actually, I'm almost kind of liking these characters without the inking lines. That it's just the fill. It's kind of looking cool. But of course, they look like they're dead versions of them. Ooh. Wonder, because part of Among Us is actually some of the characters are dead, and they float around as ghosts. That'd be kind of creepy, though. Have Scotty. I'm not gonna kill Dr. McCoy, because the Salt Vampire really did like him, and I think it really wanted to make Salt Vampire babies with him. So I'm not gonna. I don't think I'd kill him. I think that's the one. Dr. McCoy is gonna be the sole survivor. So actually, if that's the case, then I need Scotty and Spock. Actually, that sounds tragic to do that. It's an idea that may not play out, but it's a good thought. It's definitely playing off the whole, hey, this is part of these characters, part of this game. So people get killed off or voted out. More to say. It's like, did I just say that Scotty and Spock got voted out? Plus, there's a kind of like an extra meaning in that I keep thinking that if I'd taken Scotty and I'd taken Spock, which I believe Scotty and Spock, the original actors, have both passed on, and I think What other... did Chekhov? Did the person playing Chekhov pass away? See, but if I see in this case, like I'm also then saying like, well then Dr. McCoy is the only. Like, see that's where it gets sketchy. I'm not sure. I like the idea, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of sad to do it that way. And I must say, I really like the Spock silhouette. The design of my Spock character. Put it down below. And there we go. Okay. Oh. Didn't mean to take it out of the folder. Because my main thing is I go in here and I select that and I should be able to change the whole thing, which is exactly what I want. So here's the fun thing. Oh, actually I didn't even do this. I did not do the Salt Vampire, my goodness. So this is a new iteration. I do not need that one. And you know what? Just because does not hurt to save more. Get that in. So yes, I did another iteration where I'm deleting the goodies. Oh my goodness. All the added... Alright, get to selecting here, buddy. Looks like that got all selected. That's good. Same with those. Oh, it's okay. It's not as bad. Do. Get the nails, get the interior of the scepter cups. Which again, I'm really liking the amount of detail I did to this. Because I think that's where I was most concerned. Is like, I'm not gonna. It doesn't feel like it'll portray it well enough too. Oh, cool. It's not all closed. That's good. Teeth. Face. Chin. Oh, damn. I'm pretty sure I got everything. Turn that off and then color in. Again, with this character, there's so much littler details. I did more details on the character that's going to be the furthest in the back. Again, I did that for you guys, so you can see that. Okay, all my characters are ready. Actually, we're even going to delete that from this particular file because we don't need the early base sketches anymore. Alright, and that looks like everything is on. Okay. Because I'm weird. Yep, all of them are duplicated. So those are all going into their own little folder just off to the side, so I'm not gonna fuss with them. No. Alright. Let's start with you and get you positioned, buddy. Shrunk. Like I was saying, you see How much of the character are we actually going to see? I'm kind of tempted to break away and get foreground, midground, and then background. Also separated for these characters, but we're just putting them in the world. This is gonna be a little bit smaller because it's still a bit inside that. There we are. So that's one. Now Uhura is not. Obviously, the background does not support her character in the position she is right now, but we will not think too much of that, and I'm going to quickly go to brush eraser. That. I don't know how that got there, but you know, that's probably from some weird selection I did. Okay. Now her character is going to be here. See, even her legs are going to be covered up now that I see it. So we got Dr. McCoy. Check off. And again, some of these characters they're not quite supported. So I'll have to, this is why, you know, it's good that I'm redoing this and seeing this is like, oh yeah, I clearly need to reposition the background pieces so these all fit properly in their spots. Just like he's set back a bit further. There's Sulu. Then we got Kirk. Captain Kirk. Then we got our Scotty. There, and then Spock. Let's see, just on that. Which is part of the process that I have to chop him a bit. Alright, now let's make sure everyone's in their positions. Scotty is the closest character. We have Sulu that is in front of Spock. Chekhov is in front of Captain Kirk and Spock. It's still behind that. Doc is behind Kirk. Uhura is on the same level as Kirk, so I will make sure she's in front of Doc, and then Doc, then Salt Vampire. There we go. So everyone's in position. Background is still... Maybe this is what I'll do. I'll take the foreground backgrounds and group them up. So this is the foreground group, which this will be the highest. There we go. Scotty's behind it. Midground. Oh no, that's a bit tricky. Because that... 2 levels of midground that I have to consider. Okay. So as for this is... even behind Kirk, Uhura, the Doc. So okay, there we go. Oh, wait a sec. This is part of the making of sense, because this particular group is still in front of, but behind. There we go. So it's behind Kirk, but in front of Uhura and the Doc, which then makes the secondary midground behind them. Which I don't necessarily need to do the background. The only thing I need to rip up is that railing there to make it its own layer and put that in front of the Salt Vampire as well as Spock. But then I need Spock's fingers to be taken off and thus in front of it, so his hand is actually looking like it's gripping it while his feet and legs are behind it. So that's part of the fun of this. So there we go. There's all the characters in position, and for the most part put where they belong for the long haul, which this is already kind of going like crud. I think I have check off too large come from what I originally had, which maybe allows him to sit in that position. Almost make it look like his feet are dangling. Which means Sulu needs to be shrunk. Yep, really trying to make sure I get this perspective down. Hence the reason to like reposition and even shrink some of the characters a bit further. So I believe I may have had them smaller just from the original design. It's like a repositioning, reaffirming where this character is. Plus even having to change them a bit more, because I need that chair in front of them. Scotty is the closest, but he's not necessarily like the tallest of characters. There we go. It lends itself a little bit more, plus we can see more of the Salt Vampire, which is kind of the whole thing. Now this picture is a bit lopsided to its left with such a strong foreground piece at the bottom right, which kind of makes me feel like I've unbalanced it. Can I just do a simple crop? Actually, I probably could. With everyone positioned the way they are, I could probably do something like that. Cut down that world. There. Now everything's a bit more, what is it, balanced. And it's not so heavy on that right side with excess that I don't need for the whole piece. So yeah. See, this is the reason why I designed them first. When I first drew them, they were all in their position, all in their places. And I think what Scotty, Dr. McCoy, Chekhov, as well as Spock all kept their original design, or at least original silhouette I drew. The Salt Vampire went through quite a few changes before I finalized and went to the red sketch, and then Uhura definitely has been changed. Sulu has gotten out where it's like I had him hunched over more and leaning into it, and Kirk, I had to reposition his hands because just that left hand was not in a good position behind Chekhov's head. So yeah, a lot more balanced with everything, and a lot of the detail in the Salt Vampire is lost. But that was expected. Let's see. Do this and just make it taller. Again, taking some liberties with the design aspect. That works. Still seeable, still understandable. I can almost, like, even from this distance, still kind of see the detail in that hand, which actually is looking really weird because that inking is just getting utterly destroyed with all that finer detail. It's like the pixels aren't allowing to pick up, so I might even have to just erase them to keep it clean for that position. But yeah, here we go. Nice little pan of everyone. Like I said, Uhura has a lot more of her character. I need to reposition the chair. And you can see it was pretty generic. It's just I made the background, filled in the colors so I'd have an idea. And I already kind of have partially pre-built. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean up the background all on its own. Really hash it out so it fits with the world a lot more. And I might even have to do some repositioning, like extra portions of drawing, especially on Kirk's left foot and leg, because it's not going to fully. Well, I do have to. I want to push, I think, Chekhov's chair a little bit further back and shorten it just a little bit so his feet don't look like they're dangling so badly. But it's all part of the design of this particular one. Usually I just draw characters and it's like, oh look, this is a character. This time I'm actually making an ensemble inside of a larger piece. Also, it's a parody of Among Us. Mm-hmm. All right, I think that's a wrap. Spock is very sus, yes. But I'm starting to think like I might actually keep 2 or 3 of these characters in this like ghost color, in this white, and just kind of like I'm gonna make that translucent. Like Scotty is one of them, so go into his ghost. I'm gonna make it 70%, and this is the creepy part because I'm thinking like, because in the game Among Us you vote people out and then they just stick around as ghosts. So if we do this with some of these characters, that I think it had a little bit more. And then if I did that, then it allows for more of the salt monster. Because sorry, Chekhov, I'm voting you off this game. this Among Us version, just so I could see more of that salt monster behind you. And I think that makes a lot of sense to do something like that too. Because like something like as simple as this little shift, it looks like it's just a spirit that's kind of trying to do the job. Just like in the game Among Us, the spirits can still, the dead can still kind of influence the game. But so there's 4 more people, and yeah, the salt vampire in the background that is not taken a form or lost his form, and is yet to be voted out the airlock. So this is a strong possibility. Is like I could give them the color of the shirt, but then keep the like ghost white, so it's like a very pale color scheme for them, and I think this would add a lot of interest to the characters, just in that general sense of 60 might be too much. Just to keep them keep it more in tune with the actual game itself. Because that's the point. This is a parody of the game, and I don't want to kill Dr. McCoy back there, because the salt vampire really fell in love with him, and that's not how it's gonna work. It's he's gonna kill everyone else off, and just have the salt vampire and Dr. McCoy be the only two, and they'll have their own little paradise on the ship. But yeah, that's it for today. So I finished inking all of them. Now it's time to get into coloring them, and then at the same time working on this background so they fit a lot nicer. Get some of the lighting effects across it, and then have those lighting effects across them as too. So there's going to be a lot of flat colors for them for the time being, until I get the background finalized, so I know where my light sources are, and then they'll get their shadows and highlights, based upon that. And I need to give Spock and Uhura the communicators, which actually was more of just like a sewn-on badge in the original series. But yeah, I really like it. It looks cool. And I'm really kind of digging this idea of doing the silhouette. Actually, Scotty, we're just gonna play with this a little bit more. We're gonna turn you back up. We're gonna turn it all. Even the inking needs to be like fading. I thought maybe if I just do that, but no, we need all of it. Oops. There. And there's this evening's. All right, thank you for joining. We're gonna start wrapping things up. And for mostly just working on this on every Saturday with you, with all of you, except for I did some of those inkings, like I just ran through, because like I'm just gonna take forever if I was gonna ink them every single weekend with everyone. So I knew I had to get through quite a few, especially because I knew Uhura was going to be a rough spot for me, which it was, to redesign her to feel more like her character, and now I have it at that place where I really feel like that is Uhura. That is definitely and at the same time, it's like I kind of wanted everyone to have their back to that elevator, in some position, in some way, to where they wouldn't necessarily pick up on the salt vampires there just yet. So everyone's back is to it, except for Dr. McCoy is a little bit, he's just turned a little bit away. a little bit. And with Spock being so forward, you know, the Salt Vampire is obviously further in the background than he is, so he's not necessarily seen, but he might catch it out of this, you know, side of his eye here in just a moment. It's always a possibility. But the balancing is feeling a lot better. The background will come together and we'll get this. Kirk definitely needs to be refit to his position there. Alright. So with that. Yep, I'll be calling it an evening now. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you CC Coin, Drake for joining. And like it's always nice to have a little somebody add to the whole thing. So thank you. Again, like I said, this piece that I've been working on is one of the bigger features that I'll have at a really cool Comic-Con, which is in August. I like doing parody, cartoony drawing. It's really what I'm about. So at the same time, like, we're still working on generating animations and all this other stuff. So we're slowly finding time between this and a 40-hour job. So less of that depressing thing and more of next week I will work on the background and balancing it with these characters and getting all the features that will make it well suited for them, as well as cut up the background and make sure like I have this piece in front of them and reposition all of them so they're on their own little sections so they all fit. One of the great things about layering stuff is that I can chop it however which way I want and then redesign it and get that flow going. And yes, Kayla, I'm sorry to hear that your computer was not going to be polite this evening and work with us, but hopefully you're able to get some of your work done that you wanted to progress with. And yeah, short, sweet. If you like the video, please hit like. It's how everyone else can see it. We do appreciate it. Ken and I like to do this every week. Talk. I like to just outright give you all my thoughts on my designs and how I'm working through stuff because I think it's a lot of fun, and as well as very fun to ink for you people. I find it to be very relaxing to watch one of my Doug Tenaple. I love watching his inkings, and he's the creator of Earthworm Jim. He's got a lot of dynamic lines that he does, so it's always a lot of fun to watch those kinds of work progress. So that's what I bring, and I hope you all enjoy it too. So enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next Saturday 4 p.m. again, where we'll continue on this piece, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have it all done, because I might actually have to do some work on it during the week too, just to make sure I can progress quickly enough and then get into pin designs and other things that I'll feature at a really cool Comic-Con again in August. So with that, this is the BoogieMan dancing on out of here. I'll catch you critters later. Bye.